Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our podcast, Your Gardening Questions from Plant Talk Radio. To help keep this podcast free, we're partnering with Stokes Seeds. Pre-plan your indoor seed starting program with the help of Stokes' 2017 Gardening Guide and their online articles. Whether you're adding texture through foliage, choosing a new variety for a splash of color, developing an existing garden, or starting from scratch, Stokes Seeds has some great catalog and online resources to help you through the process. Enjoy gardening tips and gardening trend forecasting from their garden writers and favorite chef. More than just a listing of vegetable and flower seeds, the Stokes Seeds website is a complete resource center with valuable information on seed starting, planting, harvesting, plus all the gardening accessories you need to make your garden the envy of the neighborhood. Get growing with Stokes. We'll have more to come from Stokes Seeds in the next few weeks. For now, today's gardening question. And we did get a couple of emails in this week, and both of them have to do with starting seeds.
Interesting. Okay.
And I guess people are getting anxious about that time.
They are.
Holly wrote in, and she says, I'm ready to plant tomato from seed. How soon should I get those started? And would you start those in a soilless mix or in potting soil?
Oh, boy. Well, let's start with the fact that I'm glad that she's anxious to get on about it. I think it is too soon, though. Now, it would depend on how she is equipped. If she has high-intensity lights and temperature control and et cetera, she could go ahead now. But I think we're almost a month early. Let's go from mid-May, May 15 for easy thinking, backwards, so that we don't put our tomatoes out until mid-May, a little later. So in mid-April and mid-March, I would think you'd wait until at least mid-March. Then if you have proper lighting circumstances where you can keep the seedlings growing but short, et cetera, I would say by then. I would also say that if she, and I would recommend at this point using well-developed topsoil, no, I'm sorry, not topsoil, potting soil, and use that, I don't know. It sounds like Holly might be off on her first venture. Number one, high-intensity lights. Now, not hot bulbs, but bright light, and you want to bring the light right down to within 4 or 5 inches of the top of the seed tray at this point to tend to warm the soil. Moisten the soil, but don't keep it wet, because when seedlings start to grow, the cuticle on that stem is about zero. So that every vermin in the soil, whether it's good soil or bad soil, can become active and can penetrate that stem. It's damping off is the common term. It is a disease organism, and it can be devastating because you think, I have seedlings today, and tomorrow you look and they're all gone. So let's just say I would wait. Based on, don't know where she's from, but anyhow, in Ohio, we don't put them out till the middle of May. So middle of April would give her a 4-week run to have nice seedlings up ready to plant. 1st of April would be the earliest that I would do it, and that's only if I have a lighting arrangement where I can keep high-intensity light on those seedlings up to 16 hours a day. I have an old table in the basement. I have seed trays, I have chains hanging from the floor joists, and I have a 4-foot lighting unit I haven't used in several years, but I can drop that down on the bottom of the chain, so to speak, and then as the seedlings grow, I can raise it up a link or two at a time so that I'm keeping light on those plants. And I say 16 hours a day. When we look at good growing time, we think of African violets, which have been proven over and over to require that much, and so on. I think I'm kind of jogging around an absolute answer, but I think she should wait. I think she should get all the stuff together at this point, and then April 1, April 15th, get them going. Otherwise, they'll be tending to get tall and straggly and a little bit of a management problem. And then as to soil, I'm not as versed in the soilless situation as I should be. So I'm still going to continue to use trays and a pencil to make a line with, and then poke the pencil in 1/4 inch and drop the seeds in, etc. That's my way. The soilless, I'm really not as familiar with. But when it comes to soilless, I watched a professional person, a doctorate level over at O.M. Scott 50 years ago. He had grown grass seed on an ink blotter. The ink blotter, of course, was moistened with water. The seeds were laid on top. The lights were dropped down low. And he was growing a crop of whatever they were right there on a tabletop with, I don't know, how thick is an ink blotter? A 32nd of an inch, maybe at the very most. He was growing them right then and there. So there's not much that you can do other than start too soon, I think, not have sufficient light on them, and then be cautious in watering. Certainly you want to keep the moisture, the mixture moist, but I would water so that there's a drying period. Probably watering every third day with a mist might be about the best way to go about that. So I hope that will get Holly off the right direction, and if she gets a surplus of seedlings, we'll send her our address real quick, because I don't usually start mine anymore.
Yeah, I just go buy them at the nursery.
Yep.
Can you start them from like fresh tomato? Can you use the seeds and get them started?
Yeah. Oh, come on. The word is escaping me. They're old-time varieties. Heritage.
The heritage,
is one of the terms. Yes, those tomatoes.
Heirloom.
Is, sorry, that's the choice word. Heirloom is a plant that can indeed pollinate itself. It's a very stable, whatever it's called is going to stay that way as long as you take care of them. Now, there can be some variation along the way, I'm sure. And a seedsman would know which ones to pick off once they start growing, etc. But by all means, Mark, I've done it. As a matter of fact, and I almost used the ink blotter, but I went differently. My I'll call him great uncle, became a hydroponic grower because he moved in off the farm to a patio in town. But he grew what he called Norm's tomato. It was one that he found way back in his youth. He planted the seeds every year and had one heck of a crop. They weren't a very good-looking plant, but boy, did they have a good flavor. And once it's in a sandwich, 2 slices of bread and lettuce on top, you can't tell whether it's good-looking or not.
Oh, who cares what they look like? Yeah, absolutely. Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our podcast, Your Gardening Questions from Plant Talk Radio. To help keep this podcast free, we're partnering with Stokes Seeds. Pre-plan your indoor seed starting program with the help of Stokes' 2017 Gardening Guide and their online articles. Whether you're adding texture through foliage, choosing a new variety for a splash of color, developing an existing garden, or starting from scratch, Stokes Seeds has some great catalog and online resources to help you through the process. Enjoy gardening tips and gardening trend forecasting from their garden writers and favorite chef. More than just a listing of vegetable and flower seeds, the Stokes Seeds website is a complete resource center with valuable information on seed starting, planting, harvesting, plus all the gardening accessories you need to make your garden the envy of the neighborhood. Get growing with Stokes. We'll have more to come from Stokes Seeds in the next few weeks. For now, today's gardening question.